Video interviews are happening more and more these days. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down all the different things that you need to know so that you ace your next video interview. Hi, I'm Renee, the career coach, and if you're new here, I have actually interviewed thousands of candidates as a recruiter, so I know the inside track to what recruiters and hiring managers are looking for. So if you want great career advice, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Okay, in this video, we are going to be breaking down 4 areas that you need to address before you have your video interview to make sure that you are all ready to go. The first one is you need to make sure and prepare. Prepare just the same as you would for an in-person interview. Make sure you have the right time and date, and make sure you have the right time zone. You need to set up your camera at least 10 to 15 minutes beforehand, and that also includes testing your audio, testing your microphone, and making sure that everything is all ready to go. You don't want to hop onto your interview at 1 minute before and find out that your camera is not working properly. Make sure that you're ahead of the game by getting on 10 to 15 minutes beforehand. Make sure to ask your family or your roommates to hop off the Wi-Fi during your interview. That will ensure that you don't have a slow or a choppy Wi-Fi connection. Have backup technology just in case your main computer goes haywire. You can have another laptop, an iPad. Worst case scenario, you can use your phone. I usually don't like to recommend using your phone for video interviews, but again, worst case scenario, you can always have that as an option. In your email correspondence with the interviewer, you need to make sure that you have their phone number and they have yours. That way, in case something does go wrong, worst case scenario, you're going to just have a phone interview with them. And when preparing for this interview, make sure that you have pen and paper nearby. That way you can take any notes and you can write down any questions that you're going to have for the interviewer. If you want ideas on good questions to ask during interviews, make sure and check out my video, which is linked in the description below, where I go over all the different questions that you can ask based on what step you are in the interview process. The second area that you need to address once you've prepared for this interview is you need to make sure that you look good. Dress like you're going to an in-person interview. You shouldn't just have a nice blouse on or a nice button-up shirt and then be wearing sweatpants. When you're dressed the part, you're going to feel the part and you'll feel much more confident going into this interview. Plus, you never know if they're going to have you stand up mid-interview to make sure that you're actually fully dressed. I have had a coworker do that to different candidates on video interviews, so you want to make sure that you are actually fully dressed. Make sure that whatever room you're in is well lit. You can use natural lighting from the window or even some of those lights or lamps and put that in front of your computer so that you're well lit. And then you want to make sure that you have a nice clean backdrop. If your only option is having your bedroom and your actual bed as your background, you can always hang a little white sheet up from the ceiling, and that will make sure that you just have a clear, plain background. Look into the camera and smile when you're talking. It can always be a little awkward knowing where to look. Do you look at yourself on the camera? Do you look at them on the camera? But if you look directly into the camera, it feels a little awkward, but make sure and smile and they'll feel like you're looking directly at them. Make sure that you also have a good, upbeat, positive energy and that you have good posture. Those things, hands down, will make sure that you look good on camera. The third area to address is making sure that you eliminate all distractions. First and foremost, on your computer, make sure you turn off all notifications and do the same on your phone. That way you don't have little buzzes or beeping in the background and your eyes don't get distracted when you see an email pop up or anything like that. You can also wear headphones during your interview, and that can help you really focus on what they're saying. I would make sure that you're in a quiet space though, so you're not hearing your neighbor's lawnmower outside or the garbage truck go by, or even just like people in the next room chatting really loud, you need to make sure that it's a quiet location, and that will help eliminate a distraction as well. And finally, making sure that all pets are put away. I've actually been on a few video interviews and I've had like a cat walk across the computer screen, and that is just like a full distraction to everybody on the interview. And so make sure that all your pets are put away. The fourth thing that will really help you ace your video interview is to practice. Get on a Zoom call or a Skype call with a friend beforehand and make sure that your video is good, your mic is good, all the things. And make sure you choose a friend that is going to give you honest feedback. You can even have them ask you specific questions and you can answer them. I also offer mock interviews, and so if that is something that you would be interested in, you can always check out my website, reneethecareercoach.com, and you can find out more information on setting up a mock interview with me. All right, so those are 4 things that will really help you ace the interview. 3 things though that you need to know that you should not do when having a video interview are the following. Don't have notes or a script on another window or tab and you're jumping back and forth. Again, you need to treat this exactly like an in-person interview, and you would never have a full script in an in-person interview. So don't try and do that for a video interview because they're going to catch on, it's going to feel scripted, and it's just not going to go over very well. Number 2, do not stress out if there are any technical issues. Make sure and just call your recruiter or the coordinator who scheduled your interview and let them know that you're having technical difficulties. I once had a candidate who had technical issues during the video interview and had a hard time connecting. And he called me just up in arms. He was furious about the whole issue and was worried that we were going to eliminate him from the process. And we were more than happy to reschedule him, which we had done with other candidates. But because of how he acted, we went ahead and eliminated him from the process anyway. So if you do have any technical issues, stay calm, don't stress out, just let your recruiter know, hey, I'm having issues here, can we reschedule? And more than likely, they will be so happy to reschedule you. And third, when you have your video interview, don't use a tablet or a phone and move around with it. If you do need to use a tablet, your iPad, or a phone on this video interview, make sure that it's in a secure location, whether that's on a stand or propped up against something, but make sure it's not going to be falling over because that's just not going to go over well. And you, of course, don't want to be walking around during your video interview. Make sure you're seated at a location, otherwise they might get weird double chin angles or see up your nose, or it could just be bad all around. So wherever you have this video interview, make sure that you're sitting down at a desk in a professional location and all will go well. I hope all of this was very helpful for you as you prepare for your next video interview. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. If you want additional help with your interviews, make sure and check out my interview checklist. It's linked in the description below, and I go over all the things you need to know for your next interview. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.